Hola! Welcome to Creative Visualization. This is Dino Delano. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about probably my favorite subject in all the things that I have taught over the last 40 years or so. Creative visualization literally is you discovering the magic within you. In other words, making your dreams come true. Now, is that just all nonsense? Does that really happen? Do we really make our dreams come true? Well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to share a couple of stories with you to kind of give you a sense of and a feeling of the magic that, as I say, and it says right up there, the world belongs to the dreamer. Now, I know as a kid you were told, stop your daydreaming, come on, let's get serious, you can't be a dreamer all your life, and all of those kinds of beliefs. But really, the people that are having the most fun are the ones who make their dreams come true. All right, so let's get started. Imagination and objectivity. So we're not going to separate imagination and objectivity. Literally, objectivity is that part of you that does the work to make that dream happen, in the sense of Albert Einstein, who said, imagination is more important than knowledge, but nevertheless, he used mathematics to prove out his theory of relativity, right? So in other words, it wasn't just imagination, because imagination is what had got him to understand that process, but it was objectivity through mathematics that he was able to prove it out to the world. All right, so we're not going to trade one for the other. We're going to bring the two together. Your dreams do come true, by the way. You see, even the person who is having an awful time in their lives and things are going bad, nothing's going right, and they're having accidents and they're losing relationships and nothing seems to come together, their dreams also do come true. But they are coming true, you might say, on an unconscious level. Making your dreams come true means that you begin to take conscious responsibility. You begin to take conscious action in your life to do something to bring that about. In other words, you become part of the process rather than an unconscious person just walking around letting it happen to you. Well, let me share a great story with you. One of the things that I always wanted to do, and this came up during my years of teaching, was I remember the first lady that I read about that got to swim with wild dolphins. I thought, wow, how cool can that be? So I imagined it, and I used to think about it now and then. I mean, it wasn't something that I was super focused on, but nevertheless, it was there. And when I'd read about dolphins, or I'd see them on television or on the internet, whatever the case may be, I'd kind of dream and think to myself, wow, how cool that would be. Well, sure enough, I had a friend of mine that moved down to Florida, ended up buying a 40-foot catamaran, right? And then he goes over to Bimini and he becomes involved with a group that is called Wild Quest. What Wild Quest does is that they take people out to swim with wild dolphins. And sure enough, he was writing to me and telling me all about what he was doing, great time that he was having, captaining this boat and taking people out that came there from all over the world to swim with wild dolphins. Well, about 3 years later, after he has been doing this, he gets a hold of me and he said, hey, Dino, he said, we're having a slow month in October. We can bring some friends over completely free. All you got to pay for is just to get here. Do you want to come? I said, I'm there. And sure enough, I got to swim with wild dolphins 5 days in a row. And by the way, that picture that you see, that's one of mine. All right, I'm going to share another story with you. A dream manifest. This one's not all that long ago. This is just maybe 3-4 years ago, not even 3 years ago, really. I have a friend of mine call me and says, hey, Dino. And when I say call me, I should say he got a hold of me on the internet. He found me on the internet. I'm not hard to find. If you type my name in, I come up all over the place because of all the years that I've been doing stuff and so on. But anyway, he said, hey, do you remember me? My name is Bill Foster. And I went through some of your classes and so on. Of course I remembered Bill, because one of the things that happened, Bill helped me to move. He helped me with certain things. He helped me with some tax problems. He's a CPA. And what I did is I gave him as a gift for helping me out, I gave him a 1 ounce gold Krugerrand. At that time, because it was about 30 years ago when all of that took place, cost me maybe $50. Anyway, he says to me in the email and in our correspondence back and forth, he says, you know, he said, I'm now living over in Southeast Asia, mostly in Thailand, and he said, I've still got that gold coin. And he said, if you would like, he said, I will turn it in for the money and I'll buy you a ticket to come to Thailand. I said, I'm in. Now, what I've just shared with you is a story of what I saw say, what goes around comes around. A lot of people don't believe that. You see, really what we put out there, both mentally, imaginatively, physically, eventually comes around to meet itself. That's what the word circumstance means, by the way, is a circle coming around to meet itself. So in that sense, there is no such thing as circumstance. We literally create it all. All right, you have that same power. I don't have a particular, superpower or born with a superpower. In fact, I was born into a very dysfunctional family. It took me years to undo some of that things, and one of the things that I used to undo a lot of that dysfunction was creative visualization. But I've used it for so much more. I've taught people to heal themselves, get over pain, cure headaches, sleeping problems, speed up the learning process. I was fortunate enough to have 2 students up in British Columbia. One boy won the process for the javelin, the other one for the shot put. They won what we would call All-American, and they did it using creative visualization. Creative visualization is now used by sports people, Olympic athletes. It is now used in cancer therapy, people learning to heal themselves through the process. And I'm going to share with you a creative visualization guided meditation that you can go to. That's a 1, by the way, and what you see up there, onecreativevisualization.com. Go to that website, and you can download completely free a guided meditation which is on creative visualization. Then I'll give you some information. You can go to my blog where I have a whole lot of more information about how to use this wonderful process that you can use to create your own reality. Thanks for being with me. Dino Delano.